Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Sagittarius, our card tonight is the Ace of Swords. And let's just go ahead and see what these tea leaves have to say. And so if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you. I do. I love reading all of the comments. It's one of the highlights of my day. And what else? Yeah, I think that's it. If you're new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comments section. Okay, so we have, it looks like a person holding some kind of, it looks like when we get back over there, I want to see exactly. Because I was going to say it kind of looked like a, well, I don't know, an axe maybe, or they're swinging. What are those, the ball, a mace? Is that what it's called? The ball on a chain. And then down here we have, it looks like some kind of, maybe a bowl. Okay, so person right here riding the horse, right? Has this mace. I think that's what it's called. I'm going to go with that. Chasing after this bull. Okay, so kind of maybe hunting, possibly. Now we also do have, it looks like the lobster right here. You can see the claws, the body here. So we know that this is a symbol, an animal that is pictured on the moon card, right? And symbolizes that kind of Saturnine quality, the melancholy, depression, worry, anxiety, this kind of thing. So I feel like you're in this place where, yeah, you've gotten pretty proactive about kind of seeking out, your prey there. Not just your prey. Seeking out whatever it is that you are working towards, right? Usually, I would say probably money, right? Position, power, maybe a partner, spouse, somebody that you are courting, But I think that you have this real focused mind right now. This is the thing that you are working towards. You are working diligently, and I feel like it really is like you are in a place where you're trying to stay out of this melancholy zone. Maybe there's been this little kind of sneaking feeling that you're going to slip into kind of a lull, or a place where you're starting to feel really kind of bogged down by everything. You're not exactly feeling yourself, kind of maybe a little bit avoidant of situations, of other people, of responsibilities. But I think that when you kind of kick yourself into gear, now this isn't always the case, right? Sometimes it's like, a chemical thing. There's some kind of trauma there, or something that it kind of overloads the system. And we can't just kind of will that stuff away, right? These are sometimes just the circumstances that we find ourselves in. Now, in this case, I think that you kind of notice the signs of maybe feeling like you're descending a little bit, and you start to employ all of those tools and techniques that you know work for you, or at least sometimes help kind of keep this depressive feeling from coming on, or feeling stagnant, listless, disconnected, kind of in a, maybe even kind of dissociative, in one of those states where you just kind of are in between, right? Hard to apply yourself. So I see you really just kind of getting to the matter, right? Whatever you have going on, maybe this is work, you're doing projects, you're looking for a raise, you're maybe out there looking for another position, something that pays better, gives you better hours, better benefits, whatever. And instead of really succumbing to this period of time, which really kind of would derail your current goal or goals, right? I think you really kind of clamp down, and you are in this place where it's like, I'm not going to let that kind of change the whole energy, the mood of what's going on. I'm going to stay in movement. I'm going to, partake in those things that are helpful. Maybe it is returning to your therapist or counselor, or, whatever. Maybe you like to do some more intentional movement, creativity, going and doing things that get you outside of yourself a little bit, outside of your routines. Maybe going on like a special weekend to go see a band you really like, or a museum, or, whatever it is. And I believe that, these things in combinations really can be so helpful. For me, it is cleaning. And I know that's not the answer. That's not the answer most people want to hear. But, for me, I know when I'm starting to get into a funk, into a place where I'm feeling a little bit, like the waters are rising and I'm starting to tread water, right? Getting into a mode of cleaning, cleansing, reorganizing. I like to also cook, go on walks, be in the garden, all these kind of boring things, right? Kind of like boring. Oh, on Facebook, they have this group. It's the Dole Women's Society or whatever. I was like, I found my people when I found that, because almost every post, I'm like, oh my gosh, I super relate to this. I've fully entered my Dole middle age era. Absolutely. But I see you, whatever it is that helps you out, Sagittarius. I think that you're really, in there, taking care of yourself, doing the things you need to do. And ultimately, really, now we have the Bull. So it's something that is going to be difficult to maybe obtain, or, the process of, kind of winning the affections of somebody, or the job you're trying to get, or the raise, or the business that you're starting, the creative project, whatever it is. Not easy, but the effort is worth it. I think that this is something that your mind is kind of set on it. Okay. And I do see you really putting in such an effort Such an effort. Now, I don't know if you're going to actually succeed here, but I think because it's being mentioned in the bowl, it really does seem to me likely that, yeah, this is going to be something that you make some great advancements on. And not only that, I see this kind of transient cloud. I think of it as like kind of this little bit of a rain cloud kind of passing through your life pretty quickly. You know, that lobster, throw it right back into the ocean because that's where it's going. Now we have a duck up here, okay? And I want to keep kind of moving this way. We have the duck. We have the scorpion or Scorpio person. Could it be that a Sagittarius and a Scorpio come together and have a most excellent relationship? A wonderful life together? I think so. I think it would be difficult though. I'm looking at this and it's saying no to me, N-O, but also saying XO. So I'm like, hey, which is it, right? I do think though that there is a Scorpio person. I think that this maybe is an old relationship or somebody that, you know, you've been thinking about. Maybe somebody you've wanted to have a relationship with. And I don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it seems like we do have the duck over here. It is a singular duck. And we have a duck over here. And I do, within the scorpion, right? Here's the scorpion. You can see here's the tail over here. But we also have the duck, right? Right here, you can see the head. Now we have the duck over here. So I kind of feel like, yeah, maybe there is going to be kind of a romantic entanglement here. Now, be careful because, right, they might not be a Scorpio person. They might be a scorpion. This might be somebody that, oh, you just feel so comfortable with them. You feel so open with them. You are vulnerable and maybe even fall in love. You start to have a life together and, you know, they're just, I don't know, not a great person, right? Not to say that Scorpios are not great people. I love Scorpio people. Absolutely. I always call them, I'm a Virgo. So solar Virgo anyways. I always say that the Scorpio people are like our siblings. They're so much like a Virgo, but a little more spicy, right? So I do love a Scorpio, people. But I think in particular, this person is to be watched, right? I think that they just move differently, not in a good way, right? But there's something about them that you, I think, are pretty in love with. I think this is somebody that it's hard to stay away from. And when they come around and they're interested, oh, you're like, no, I've been through this. I'm not going to waste my time again. You know, the last time was the big runaround. I got my heart broken probably more than once by this person. And yet when they show up, it's like you'd risk it all, right? It's like all sense goes out the window. And, you know, ultimately I see that it's almost kind of like you're like the same, not the same behavior, but like you just belong together. even if it is on and off, even if this is a person that like between relationships or between marriages or whatever, this is the person you end up kind of going to, right? And then it doesn't work out, and then you meet your next person and you know, you have a pretty decent relationship with them. But this person here, always kind of in the background. And I think, you know, you're headed towards a period of time here where, yeah, maybe there will be a little bit more engagement. Okay. So if you're not interested in letting them back in, don't answer their messages, their calls. Don't open the door for them. Okay. Stay away, because it's going to be hard. If you get face to face with them, it's going to be almost impossible to say no. All right. So now we have VXO, but I'm reading it in my mind as VOX, Vox, if that means anything to you. All right. Let's see. So we have the Ace of Cups. We have a person planting a flag over here. Here's the flag. Here's the person. You can see the head here, the body. We have a star. We have... It looks like the duck is relieving itself into the Ace of Cups. So, you know, I feel like, I feel terrible saying this. This is like your person, but it's whenever you get together, it's like they just do a little bit of a poo on your heart. And that's really what it comes down to here. It just, there's something about them. And I think it's kind of like every time you think about getting back together with them or letting them back into your life, you're hoping, like, I hope in these last months, years, whatever it's been since we have been talking and seeing each other, maybe they have matured. Maybe they've had some life experience that has kind of altered their behavior a little bit. And then you get in there and you start to see, okay, this is, you know, it's familiar. I love them. I will always love them. There's something about us, our chemistry, it's just so intense. And then it's like they just kind of roll it back out, right? The same old, the same old, the same old. And it gets right to that, them being dismissive, gosh, Lenor, them being dismissive of your feelings, of your thoughts, of your, you know, wants and desires, your dreams. And I could see them really just kind of being somebody who's not supportive, but it's not even that. They just, it's almost kind of like they have to, what is that thing called? Nagging somebody? Is that where you're like saying negative or mean things to them to kind of make them feel lower than you so you can have some kind of, you know, control over the situation or relationship or supposedly I think it's like, now this is me briefly seeing, and I won't say what kind of videos they are, but we all know kind of this movement on the internets, right? But where apparently there's this thinking that if you are kind of mean to somebody and like kind of bully them, that it somehow makes them more attracted to you. And I don't know if that works or not, but I'm guessing probably not very well. But I feel like it's kind of almost that energy, and it's like you get back in there and they start acting this way and you're like, my goodness, we are like full adults. We've like known each other for many years, and we're the same people we always were when we get together. It just unlocks a part of you, of them, where the dynamic is just, how could we behave this way towards each other, right? This is not what I want. And then I think it does. You start your exit once again, right? And even telling yourself, you have to remember, it's always going to be the same. It's always going to be the same with them. And, you know, I don't know maybe it's your history, maybe it's your chemistry. Maybe it is that you have some kind of entanglement that is, you know, like a soul contract. I don't know. But we have that person planting the flag, and I feel like it is. You kind of are each other's person, for better or worse. And that doesn't mean you have to be together, by the way. Somebody can be your person, your beloved, and you absolutely don't end up marrying them or spending your life with them. I think that's pretty common, actually. So, you know, whatever it is here that really kind of binds you together, it is just this intolerable personality that kind of emerges from them. That, you know, I think maybe one day, right, in their older years, maybe it will be something that has finally slipped away. They've shed that part of themselves. But for now, I just see more of the same. It's maybe a little more stylized. They maybe have a little more money, and they're more set and, you know, developed as a person. But, and I mean generally, but in these places, it's like it comes right back out of them. And I think that's something that you're just not willing to put up with. I could not see you really, you know, living with that kind of behavior for very long. Now, we also have the house up here. Okay, so we have the two windows, kind of the side or back of the house over here. We have a tree. And I feel like, you know, this is kind of, it is a returning back to your sacred space. You know, you go through these little ordeals in life. You kind of encounter somebody, you get reacquainted with them a little bit, and you realize, all right, I'm going home. I'm going back to my space that I have cultivated, that I know is there for me, a place that feels, you know, like my own universe, and I'm going to get right back in there, and I'm going to continue to focus on that which matters. And, you know, ultimately, I think it's a lot to do with that work. I think it's so much about, you know, and it's about making money. That's the feeling I get here. When I'm closing my eyes as I'm thinking about this, it is this sense of, and it's not for pridefulness or like this need to hoard wealth or anything like that. I think it's just doing a little bit better than your parents, right? Doing a little bit better than you had even planned for yourself. And I think that's the ultimate thing, is just you want to kind of feel like you have evolved a little bit, right? And, you know, I don't think that there's anything wrong with, measuring our successfulness on the work we do and where we kind of end up focusing our time. But also, yeah, you know, I'm not a huge, listen, I have always been a waitress mostly, so, and not a good one, by the way, a decent one, not the greatest. And so I've never made a ton of money. So I don't put a lot of, it just isn't something that I have thought about a lot. Like, I want to make so much money, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? We all want to pay our bills. Absolutely. We all want to try to get out of debt. I think. And so, yeah, but I look at this and I think, yeah, maybe you are kind of driven a little bit to make some good money, and that's fine. That's not I think in a lot of spiritual circles, at least, when you get into kind of the initiate programs and systems and things like that, there is this real kind of, I think, position on being a materialist or a person that is really looking to kind of make a fortune or a legacy or whatever through the money that they collect along the way, and kind of frowned upon a little bit. But I don't think it's something that it's not a negative thing. Ultimately, nothing is positive or negative, really, right? At least in our actions, our desires, our drivers. But, how ethical is it? What is the morality? How does it affect you? How does it affect other people? All of these things are kind of indicators of, is this something that is for you? Or is it something that, it might be poisonous to you? Because, listen, we all know people who do well to make a good amount of money, and they put it to use, and they, find happiness in their ability to kind of use the money to do the things that they want to do, to build their dreams and all this. And then there are other people who become possessed by the kind of consciousness of not only money, but the pursuit of making money, of finding money, of getting money, right? And this might lead you down some pretty distorted corridors. And so I think it is important to check in with self, but I'm thinking for you, it is something that is more about kind of having an output that really does confirm, like, I'm on the right path. I'm doing the right thing. I'm good at what I do. I'm getting compensated for it. I'm able to live at least somewhat comfortably. I'm able to kind of do some of the things that I want to do. And so, yeah, I do. I think that this is a place where you derive a good amount of meaning in the work that you're doing to make the resources that you want to make. Okay, so that's to say it pretty simply. We can just go down all the winding side streets talking about it all day long. You've come to the right rambling place. All right, so we have the number 32. We also have, it looks like a J and a T, maybe JT. We have a writing quill, so maybe writing letters or receiving a letter. Now, this could be in the mail, like a physical letter. It could also be an email, a text, maybe even a post on the internet somewhere, right, on one of the social medias. But there will be some kind of important communication coming through soon. So look out for that. And this one says her, H-E-R, her. So I do think it's probably from somebody who identifies as a her. And we have the snail. So maybe it is snail mail. Maybe it is coming through the old-fashioned physical mail. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to take a look at our self-care affirmation cards. Okay, and so just gonna flip through and stop where it feels right. And it says, sacred knife. Ooh, sacred knife. Truth is my sacred knife. I cut away anything that is not in alignment with my values. As I sharpen truth, I become my highest ideal. As I sharpen truth, I become my highest ideal. All right. I like that. The cult of self. All right. So anyway, Sagittarius, thank you so much for getting through this reading with me. Oi, I feel like I'm getting a, what is it called? Like a halo migraine. I just am getting that feeling around the peripheral of my vision. And I just, all day long, I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a headache. And it hasn't fully come on, but I'm starting to feel that, like, I don't know, just kind of off feeling. So anyways, thank you for getting through the reading with me. I know it can be long and meandering, but I do enjoy spending this time with you, and I hope you enjoy some of it with me as well. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you. Definitely, if you're new to the channel, shout it out in the comments. And other than that, I love you. We'll talk in a few days. Good night, good night, good night.